Noob D&D Dad here, and we are talking session 36 of my son's campaign that I am the Noob DM for, and we are meeting Cryovain, the young white dragon, in Phandalin. But first we have to make our way there from Woodland Manse by way of Falcon's Hunting Lodge. And if you remember, they have the sleeping maiden that they recovered from the wreckage of the scary boar. This guy, Gorthok the Thunder Boar. If you remember, when he died, there was a young maiden over the age of 18 laying on the ground wearing clothes from like 200 years ago. And she was asleep. And so that was kind of a mystery that I totally just threw into the Dragon of Icespire Peak because I thought it would be fun. So they went all kinds of places and they couldn't ever wake her up. So they left her at Falcon's Hunting Lodge for them to go to Woodland Manse. So now they're back at Falcon's Hunting Lodge, and we'll see what's going to happen next. And one thing that I'm really happy about at this point is that the players took a whole bunch of the magic pumpkin seeds from the Woodland Manse magic pumpkins. So I don't know if they're going to eat them or if they're going to plant them or what, but I love the idea of these pumpkin seeds being like a double-edged sword. If they take too many, they get poisoned. And it's already happened once. My son took too many and got poisoned. You know, that felt weird to say. This is probably one of the only times that you'd be happy that your son got poisoned because it's in a game and it's funny. But that wouldn't be good in real life. So they get back to Falcon's Hunting Lodge, and Corwin has said that they have been unable to wake the maiden, and my son figures out that I've really never named the spell that's making her sleep, but I decided it's like a 4th level sleep custom spell. Anyway, my son does dispel magic, and it actually works. And I was like, okay, this is an appropriate time. So whereas I had with the veteran group, the army veteran group that I'm also a noob DM for, I also had them have this sleeping maiden, but I had her get woken up by the banshee scream at Axholm. So kind of different things. So instead of having an event wake her up, I allowed the players in my son's campaign to do a dispel magic to wake her up. So they wake her up, and right away she says, "Where am I? Where's my necklace?" Right? Because they took her necklace. Her necklace has the same icon on it as the altar in the Shrine of Savras. So I wanted them to be connected here. So my son gives it back to her, and then I have her glow pure white for a second and say thank you. And then they ask what happened, and why not? I just tell them, I say Talos's followers captured me and trapped me in another plane. Because remember, I said she had clothes on from like 200 years in the past. And I don't think I reveal her power to them at this point, but she can see somewhere real time that she's been before. So they can say, show us the Shrine of Savras, and she can actually like do a vision of what's happening there right now because she's been there before. But at the end of Woodland Manse, it says that there's going to be a raid on Falcon's Hunting Lodge. And so as the players get stronger and stronger and find cooler items, I get just as excited for them to use their new powers and new items as they are. So we need to have an orc attack on Falcon's Hunting Lodge. Yep, here you go. Leaving the manse. So this is leaving Woodland Manse. There is a counter attack. So they've already defeated Gorthok, so then what's left is the 20 orcs. So the characters have parked their wagon down here, and I have a spread of 20 orcs coming down this road. I don't know if I said, but the sleeping maiden I rolled my d20 name dice, which is so sloppy, and I never meant it for human consumption, but if I roll a d20 and it gets this, then the name starts with this letter. So her name is Dora Iswald, and my players actually at this point pretty much trust her, just on good faith, and they share, I think they give her a short bow and a +2 vicious hand axe for this coming battle so that she can defend herself. And it actually goes pretty well. The players are super powerful at this point, and they just lay waste to the orcs. I have a note that a ballista bolt shatters. I'm not sure what happened there, but apparently I wanted to find a way for them to be down a ballista bolt. And one thing I've done when I have large groups of enemies is that I'll take little groups of them and I'll roll an initiative for that group. And then those 3 or 4 or whatever will go together, especially if they're lower powered enemies, so that because if they're too powerful, then that would be a really good way to kill the players, and I'm not trying to do that. But I'm also not trying to make it a total slog with the dice rolling. So let me know what you do for massive amounts of bad guys. But that's what I've done so far is I just roll groups of initiative, and then they can still die individually and do their things individually. But I try to just make it go a little quicker that way. I don't know what you've seen to make combat go quicker. Not that you want to rush it, but you also don't want it to take forever. I don't know. I'm new. All right. So players destroy all the orcs. I think they ended up being tied. So if you remember, they were doing a contest to see who could get the boots of Elvenkind from Falcon, because he promised to give them to them if they defeated the Woodland Mance. So the players were trying to have a stealth off. Who could do the most stealthy things would deserve the boots. And I think they were tied. And so there was a roll off, and I want to say my son got them, and the other player was not happy. Okay, and now on to the epic battle. So at this point, like I said, I rolled a d20 on the dragon table, and the dragon is at Phandalin, and the players are just eager to get back to Phandalin because this is their home, this is the hub of all their adventures, and so I'm just so excited. Now here's the thing with the dragon. So Cryovain in the Dragon of Icespire Peak, you're supposed to, if he's not in his lair, he's not necessarily supposed to fight to the death. Right here. So here's where it talks about rolling a d20 to find out where he is. And then so if he loses more than 10 hit points, he'll disengage, right? And then that's how I rolled him to be in Phandalin. But sometimes the players make it really hard to disengage. And this has happened multiple times with the other group I'm DMing for and with this group. Okay, so the players arrive in Phandalin, and the dragon is, I think I have him already attacked a few buildings, right? Like there's some icy buildings, things are bad. The players want to jump in and help, but they also want to see if they can unite the town to help them. And so I have them roll a persuasion, and it yields them 2 commoners to assist them in the fight against the dragon. The dragon does a cold breath as it flies by, and the 2 commoners are immediately killed, as well as one of the players takes half of the damage. It was 52 was the damage, and then one of the players takes 26. So it's kind of hard to control the movement, right? So the players are down here. So the dragon comes swooping down and attacks them, and now it's flying away because I don't have these things turn on a dime, right? So it's flying away, but the players are just range attacking it, right? And it's getting hurt. Now it's hurt to the point where, according to the book, I should really have it fly away. So I'm using its speed, and at this point I kind of reach a decision point where I'm like, stay and fight or run away. And the players kind of force my decision. So I'm trying to use all of its extra speed to just get it away and to just gain distance from them. And my son and my friend had this conversation earlier, I think with the Banshee at Axholm, where they're like, no, we have to kill this thing now, or it's just going to go heal and come back later. And so we look up the rules that you can dash the horses driving your carriage, and so they use their turn to have their wagon just dash down the road, and it actually closes the gap as far as their range goes, and so they can keep shooting it. And so at this point I say, okay, my decision is made. I am not just going to let this thing just die as it gets shot in the back flying away. That's ridiculous. So I allowed it to do I don't know what they call it, like in the X-Wing games where you push the button and you just do a complete like that. So I kept the original hit points, but I fudged allowing the breath to recharge because, one, I didn't think it would really change it too much, but I think it would be awesome and provide a good challenge. So I did fudge allowing the cold breath to recharge, even though I didn't roll a 5 or 6. So now you basically have the players charging towards the dragon and the dragon charging towards the players. And the dragon they're in a straight line, right? Because they're in a wagon with 4 horses on it. And then you have a driver on top and a gunner on top. And then my son's inside, and he usually shoots out the window. So they are straight line, which I love with these kind of weapons. So the dragon flies over and just does a cold breath over their entire party. So it's a 43 damage cold breath, which kills all 4 of their horses, which they had got in... what town? Which they had gotten Tribor from a very nice horse person, but they're all dead now. And the players passed their the roll, so they only took 21 damage. So another reason I let it do the breath is because I kind of knew this was its last moment. So Cryovain the dragon is about to be defeated in Phandalin again, because the other group also defeated it in Phandalin, of all things. Interesting how that turns out. Spoiler alert there for the other group's recap videos, but that's why I let the recharge happen, is so that it could get off one last hurrah and that it could actually feel like a challenge. But the thing is, they've been range attacking all along, and my son shoots a fireball in it as it flies over, and it hits it in the neck, and at this point the damage is so low that this is like the killing blow. And I can't remember how I decided this, but it looks like I did a die roll for where the head would land, because I had it blast its head off, and where the body would land. And the player's house is actually right here that Yance, the NPC from Axholm, gave them, that I totally made up. And the town hall's here. And I know that's like kind of a huge distance. What is that? It's like a couple hundred feet. 100, like maybe 150 feet. Anyway, I have the head land on the town master's hall. And the way I've been playing him all the time is he always just like opens the thing and he's always scared and puts the money through. And he's just always afraid and won't come out. And I have the body land in their yard, in their house's yard. Okay, so we have defeated Cryovain the dragon. I say we because I feel like it was a group effort. I feel like the battle went very well. I feel like the moves that the dragon were doing were cool and engaging, and then I feel like the players were trying their very best. And I love when they used a dash to make their horses do double speed to chase after this guy to keep the range down. And I really couldn't fudge it enough to just have the dragon like light speed out of there. So I was like, okay, dragon's turning around and getting one more shot. But I think it was a huge hit how it went off. And so like, what are times when you've had the big bad guy die, maybe in a not expected way, and how did it go and how did players react? This is not the end of this story, though. There is more in the book. They still haven't done, at this point they haven't been to the dragon lair, the Icespire hold, and they have not been to the Tower of Storms. And so this is session 36. Spoiler alert, they finished the book at session 40, so we're coming up. And then they end up trying to go way far south on the map, below the map actually. So lots more to come with these characters in this group. But for next time in session 37, we decided that the dragon dying is the trigger that will switch us to the 2024 rules. So next time I'm going to talk about how we changed to the 2024 rules in our character sheets, which was actually a bit challenging, especially for the half-elf character. We had to fudge some stuff to make it work because it ended up being super handicapped. Just with the rule change as written, it was a huge disadvantage for the half-elf character. So anyway, I just love how this session went. It was so much fun. So thank you for joining me on this journey, and thank you for all the feedback and suggestions. I appreciate it. So we'll see you on the next one. Definitely stick around because I'm also trying to catch up on my Army Veterans group that I'm also the Noob DM for. So if you're a Noob DM, let me know how it's going with your game too. Anyway, see you on the next one.